Look, every time I look at this city, from this mountain, I'm awestruck. Not just by the beauty, but also by the way that we have drastically transformed this city over the decades. We possess a strange, paradoxical duality. In our hearts, we all hold on to that true grit, tough as nails, steel town origins, but the reality is, we have morphed into a haven for intellectuals, innovators, and tech-savvy nerds. It's a great city. We are one of the most educated cities and most livable cities in the world, and we can boast that we have the most affordable housing prices of any city of our size. But when outsiders ask me what makes Pittsburgh so great, I tell them that Pittsburgh is a large city that feels like a small town. That when one of our neighbors falls on hard times, we all come together as a community to help that person get back on his or her feet. There's no city in the world like Pittsburgh. And here's the important part. When you look at that city, our city, I want you to remember that we made that. Each one of us in this room, every single person in our community in some way has helped to shape Pittsburgh into what it is today. You know, and like Pittsburgh, CHS has actually come a long way from its humble beginnings in South Oakland. In our hearts, we are the same organization, dedicated to helping our community, but with a more refined focus. Today, CHS is an organization that empowers individuals and families to live in stable housing, connect to community resources, build relationships, and have access to quality food. I should tell you that I was going to go on and say many other great things, but I scrapped that because I feel the need to tell you a story about something I saw this morning. This is actually, in fact, a true story. It was a miserable morning, as you know. The rain had just stopped, and as I stepped outside to go to work, the air was cold and damp. And I was going to grab a jacket, but I was running behind, so I didn't. And for the past 5 years, I have driven the same way to work every morning. It's a mundane drive, save for maybe the occasional fender bender. But this morning was different. As I got onto 376 and was approaching the Wood Street overpass, I noticed a ghostly figure emerge from behind the abutment of the overpass. And the closer I got, the clearer the figure became to me. And when I was under the overpass, I realized it was an old lady. She could not have been younger than 70 years old. All alone, making it through this cold, damp morning, holding an empty cup in her right hand and a makeshift cardboard sign in her left hand that began with the word, "Please." I wasn't able to read the rest of the sign, but I didn't have to. Unlike the rest of us, this woman didn't have a place to call home. She was an Eleanor Rigby, forgotten by society. It was a haunting image for me, and I'm sure it likely was for anybody who drove by and saw that. It was also disheartening because I knew that, at least in her case, we, as a society, had failed her. Yet I'm hopeful. You see, this is why we're here tonight. This is why I'm passionate about what we do. CHS, in cooperation with other community leaders and organizations, is helping to improve the lives of the nearly 8,000 people we serve as an organization. We believe that each person is unique, and that each person should feel valued, and each person has the ability to shape their community into a better place. There is a cure for homelessness. In fact, it's a plan that even fiscal conservatives can get behind, because a recent study out of Florida found that providing people who are homeless with a home actually costs less to taxpayers than allowing those people to remain homeless. You know, in the future, homelessness will be an archaic term. I believe homelessness will be a thing of the past. I also believe that Pittsburgh will be one of the first cities to end homelessness, And I know, I am absolutely certain that with the help of our allies, CHS will be on the forefront of helping to end it. Thank you again for your support and for making this city a great place in which to live.